You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Wake up to the world you've been missing. Time to jump out of bed in the morning. No day, no life, now we're living. Can you feel it in the air that you're breathing? Time to show 'em what you're made of. Let's get back on track. Are you ready for a come on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Are you ready now? You're lifting off the ground. Welcome back. No calming down. Can you feel it all around? Welcome back.
Welcome to Super Mega Crash Beyond. I could have sang the opening to really fit with the theme, but I can't think of rhymes off the top of my head unless I'm really, really high. Okay.
Yeah. And then they're probably not that great then anyway, right?
No. But I feel like they flow.
In the moment, they're amazing. You're not
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Have you ever just sat around like an idea? I don't know. It always happens. Somewhere, somehow, an idea will come into my head when I'm in that state. And I'm just sitting there thinking, this is a great idea. I need to jot this down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll keep it up. But I'll be so focused on trying to keep it that I forget about the pencil and I never write it down. So I've probably lost a lot of great ideas.
Maybe. Got them phones, man. Just record a talk to text real fast on a note app or whatever you got. And
I should.
yes.
I should just grab hit the voice recorder and just speak it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
In the moment. And then you could have a lot of fun the next day reading back through it and seeing exactly the thought process you had going on.
Yeah, that would have been ideal.
Future note.
I should. There's maybe like one or two that have kind of stuck around. And even as I think about them, I'm just like, I guess it would be a funny thing, you know, but what am I to do with this information?
You got to make sense of it later if you want to turn it into anything.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't know. It could be some like SNL skit for a minute. You know, those that they never know how to end and then just something really random happens so they can get themselves out of it. Yeah.
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 Such an odd way to exit a sketch sometimes.
Oh, yeah. You could always tell when I was like, they didn't know how to end this one. They just had an idea they wanted to do.
I think the talk show ideas are probably the best thing because you knew exactly how to get, well, that's all the time we have.
Yeah, go to commercial.
It was just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you know, them's advertisers. Got to make that money.
I don't know. One of the ideas that I have, seriously, is a song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the, what do you call it? Like the I don't know songs. I do when my brain is functioning properly.
Sure.
Where you just the chorus, is it the chorus?
What,
Where
the repeating part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the chorus. So it's the chorus. I have it in my head. I can hear it right now in my head, but I don't know what to do with it. I feel like there's a song in there, but I've just got to figure out how to put it out there. And it's going to be a very annoying chorus. That's the other thing too. It's something that will wear your nerves eventually.
No songs ever do that.
No, never.
No.
Because I think it's almost like the concept, and I don't want to share it right now because I want to see if I can. Yeah, I want to foster this idea. I want to see if I could ever figure out how to do this. But I'm not a musical person. I don't play music or anything like that.
If I would have kept up with it, man, I could have helped you. I was really great at the piano through high school, and then I never wanted to touch it again after I got out. Yeah, I'll show you people, and then here I sit. Yeah.
But the idea for it, or at least the idea I have for it, is that you start it off and you make this little music video that, again, it's going to just annoy people. But then it becomes notorious on something like TikTok, where they utilize a clip and then stick it in with something that because it's about being hot or something spicy. So I visualize.
I was going to say, which kind of hot? Okay.
Yeah, you eat something, like watch somebody do one of those hot pepper challenges.
Sure.
And then you intercut the chorus of that song, and that's how it works.
Well, we got to get this going. And of course, it has to go on TikTok for any kind of virality. So at least you know where you're going. That's smart. You've already figured it out. What is it today for songs to hit big?
Yeah,
Gotta
exactly.
go to TikTok. Honestly, it does sound like that.
Well, I mean, it would be, I think so.
Yeah.
But hey, if I can, like I said, if I can figure it out, I just need need somebody who can play music and maybe even a mariachi band. I've got this all figured out in my head.
I could find you a mariachi band easy. Our next door neighbor hires them for big events like at their life all the time, like birthdays, things like that. They're really good.
Okay.
Thankfully, they don't go all night. That's always my concern when I see them taking out all their instruments and heading into the backyard literally next door. I'm like, wonder how late this is going to go.
Yeah.
And then usually they're wrapped up by like 9. And I'm like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right.
Hopefully one day it will see the light of day. But I wish I had a budget for something to just throw money at it and be like, here, let's make
Go
this
to
thing.
like Fiverr. You'd be surprised that, there's some talented people on there that'll cut you a decent deal, and even give you the rights to whatever it is. There's musicians on there.
No, that's true. That's true.
You never know.
I know that's a place that I've been told to put my talents out there as far as like an editor or something. And I've never thought about it, but I'm just like, Yeah. But that's just me.
No, I feel ya. I was kind of hesitant about it a couple of times, but I did try it once when I was streaming, and I got very quality stuff back from the guy. It wasn't a stupid amount that that he was asking for. Worked with me on edits if I wanted, like, you got so many re-edits if you weren't happy with the first toss. And then, so I could recommend it. I at least had a good experience. I'm sure other people did not, but worth a shot. If it's someone that's like wanting $20-$30, even if it's crap, you spent $20-$30. You didn't spend like $1,000 or something or more to own music. So
well, I might have to look into that. There might be somebody out there who could nail everything that I'm looking for. I guess I just need to write a song now, and I'm not a songwriter.
Well, you got to get that chorus out there. That's all you want, right?
Yeah, that's all I really want. So I could just put together some stupid little lyrics, make it a 2-minute song.
Yep.
Maybe, 2-minute songs, fair enough. You don't have to be bigger than that.
Nope. We're not Meatloaf here. We can keep it in 2 minutes. Yeah.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. How the fuck was that man a sex symbol?
I don't know. I really don't. I've watched, I've looked, I've thought about it very briefly. No. Different time, I guess. I don't know.
my wife loves him, so.
Aw.
It's even after his supposed. I don't want to disparage the man. I know he's dead, but
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say his supposed death, and I was gonna be like, well, I'm pretty sure it was real.
No.
Unless he's on the island with like Tupac and Elvis.
Oh yeah, that's true. He could be. It's one of those. Before the end of his days, it sounded like he was leaning into lunatic territory.
Yeah. It gets a good amount of them, don't it?
Yeah. I guess we'll get there eventually, I suppose.
I guess so. I mean, I guess it comes with age, right? When we finally shut down to any new ideas whatsoever, and we don't understand that anything changes from when I was your age.
Don't you understand?
Yeah.
And that's actually a great segue into our topic today. Because like a Swiss watch, as they say, you can guarantee you're going to know when all this starts. And December 1st, or even, hell, I would say Black Friday.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're hearing it right then and there. Some places maybe even a little before, trying to get you into that spirit,
Yeah,
I'll see decorations sometimes go out a little after Halloween. And I'm like, whoa. One at a time. You're going to get all of our money for Christmas here very soon.
I think they're trying to prepare, like they're getting it ready so they can just turn it on. They're just like, You just wait. I'm going to turn it on.
This is what, I don't know why this reminded me, quick blip. Do you remember when I told you the other day that I opened Twitter, saw White Friday trending, and then I closed Twitter? Because I was like, what is this? And I looked into it a little bit, and I'm hoping it was a long troll. But just in case, I hope everyone understands that Black Friday is when businesses go from the red, not making money, to the black, making money. Has nothing to do with race. So if people, I hope they were trolling. Let's just hope they were trolling. Like, why isn't there a White Friday? That's every Friday, I guess. I don't know. But like, this has nothing to do with anything other than businesses finally make a profit if they didn't all year long. I'm sure the audience here that would be listening is very smart and understands that. I just felt like I had to say that, like anybody on Twitter would hear me right now. But that just bothered me for a minute. I'm like, maybe it's a long troll, and I fell for it. Because, like, I can't. Because I did see some comments like, how the hell did Black Friday even start? And I'm like, oh my God, you're sitting in front of a machine right now that could give you that answer. I love when everybody's like, I don't know how this. Have you ever thought to look it up?
Yeah, the research.
Like, at all? Like, Google has made your life so easy at this point. It's not like you have to go to the library, go through the, card system, find the book, hope you got the right book, and read all of them before you can find the. It's literally right the F there. Hey, Siri, what does Black Friday mean? There you go.
But the irony is that these are the same people who are like, everything on the internet's a lie.
You know what, though? You're right. So you know what? It probably was a troll and I fell for it. And if so, then fine.
Yeah.
I fell for it. But if not, oh my God.
Yeah. So what exactly are you wanting to discuss with Christmas music, as it were?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's that thing every time of year. You love it. You hate it. I don't know. I'm one, I can stand it like on Christmas Eve and maybe Christmas Day. And then after that, I'm over it. But Christmas music, I wanted to kind of look into it a little bit because I'm like, when did this start? How long have we been singing Christmas carols or things about Christmas or all this kind of stuff? And apparently it goes back further than even I would have guessed. And I don't know how we keep track of all of these things, if I'm being honest. But it's saying like in the year 129, by the way, a Roman bishop that wrote a song called Angel's Hymn, which would be sung at Christmas services in Rome. So I guess like technically that could be considered one of the first ones. And then soon after this, the composers all over Europe started to write Christmas carols as we know them today. But people didn't really like them at the time because guess what? They were written in Latin and nobody like spoke Latin at the time. So it started to seem like Christmas songs were an elitist thing at this point in time because they didn't want to speak the language of the people. Because I do remember kind of reading that like that was kind of their caste system, if you didn't know Latin or whatever, you're kind of our lower class, and then only the upper echelons are allowed to understand these church gatherings and all this kind of stuff. It's just a very bizarre way of spreading God's love, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
But outside of that, it seemed like, it was mostly early Christian hymns, of course, singing around Christmas time. Saint Hilary of Poitiers, Porters. I don't know how to say these words. You guys remember me from all over the podcasting over the years. I butcher these people's names. It is what it is. But this goes back to the 4th century, composing some of the earliest hymns. Now, this is where we get for the birth of Jesus, where now we're going to start singing about, the nativity and God's great love and all this kind of stuff. Even in the medieval times, they sang carols. That's where you started to get the repetitive, like festive structure that started to become popular, in celebration of different occasions. But of course, we're talking about Christmas for this particular one. But they weren't only religious, but did incorporate like secular themes. So we're starting to get to where, maybe some jolly stuff instead of just God and Jesus might be in there a little bit. But then the Protestants, reformed that in the 16th century with emphasis on the congregational singing. For example, they had here Martin Luther wrote, Von Himmel hoch da komm ich her. I probably didn't say that right, but from heaven above to earth I come, a Christmas hymn that contributed to the Christmas music tradition. So now we're getting those popularized. I don't know. Then now we got your 17th and 18th centuries, the Baroque era. So you got Johann Sebastian Bach and George Frederick Handel incorporating Christmas themes into their work. Adeste Fideles. I don't know if I'm saying that right, guys. Again, O Come All Ye Faithful. We know that one is believed to have been in the 18th century. Yeah. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Yeah. And then you got your Victorian era. This is where Christmas carols are even more popular because you saw a resurgence in the Christmas traditions now. I guess we're wanting to go back to, we want to decorate. We want to have traditions. We want to have all this stuff. And so that's when we got Silent Night. was out of that era. And Away in a Manger, which originated or, gained popularity during that time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you want to know? No, just because I'll forget it.
Okay, go ahead.
The do you remember the popular? I feel like it's popular. So there's probably a lot of people who don't even know this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Away in the Manger, sang by, this is on Saturday Night Live, sang by Tonto, Tarzan, and Frankenstein's Monster.
Oh God, like it's very, very faintly familiar. I bet if I saw it again or something, it would ring a bell.
Was it Away in the Manger? I feel like that's it, because they were sitting. It might have been. Yeah, it was Away in the Manger. I'm almost positive it was, because they're sitting there and they're just, little Lord Jesus.
Yep.
You got
lay down his sweet head,
and then Phil Hartman's over.
Yes.
That's all he's doing.
That's probably what it sounded like. Anyway,
Yeah.
Who knows? No.
Anyway, no, I'm
Only
sorry.
the people with the most angelic voices, I'm sure, got to do these things.
I'm gonna have to find that clip and just
insert it right there. Please do. Yes.
No crib or bed. Little Lord Jesus, lay down the sweet head. Stars in sky, look down where lay. Little Lord Jesus, asleep in hay.
But then we come up to the 20th century and how everything's starting to get popularized. We see the rise of Christmas songs. White Christmas, for example, by Irving Berlin, performed by Bing Crosby. Actually considered, and I know all of this is relative, but if you're looking at record holders, that is the most popular Christmas song by selling the most albums, listened the most times. So White Christmas, I guess, is your beloved Christmas classic of our time. You still hear it all the time now.
Everywhere. I mean, it's all. I mean, I'm sure that there are different versions, because that's the other thing too that you have to. I always pick up on is like, the one version that you hear almost all the time, but then a new version, a new take on it with some new artist. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, I mean, how can you beat?
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
And he's going all the way up there.
I was going to say,
Anyway.
just like the ones I used to know. Boo-doo-doo-doo, boom. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
It's in everything.
It is, yes.
It's a classic.
Movies, out on the street. I mean, you go into any department store, you're going to hear this song every year, like clockwork. I mean, I do anyway. And then about, a few years later, and we kind of chatted about this, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer became a cultural phenomenon in 1949 and moved out, which you talked a little bit more in the last pod. So if you missed that, you can hit pause, go back and hear about, our Christmas shows that we liked, where, Stephen, let us know a little brief more history about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And if you missed out on the video version, which is posted up everywhere, if you just listen to the audio, you've missed out on so much.
Yeah, go to the YouTubes. He might be treating you every once in a while for those of you who listen over there.
It's on Spotify too.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Video.
if you listen, that's all I'm saying. I mean, this one might be the same, but the Rudolph episode, if you didn't watch it, you're missing out on extra content.
Go watch it again. You'll have even more fun. It's like a brand new pod. Right? And a video evolved now.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, perfect. But yeah, so as you know, Christmas songs keep evolving. New stuff, new reinterpretations all the time keep happening. And then we move into the 90s, where Mariah Carey enters the scene. And of course, All I Want for Christmas Is You is now an extremely popular Christmas song that you're also going to hear every Christmas. So, and that's 30 years old, so like not that old in comparison to all the songs.
And it's funny, she seems to be the one that gets the target on her back. When people are like, Christmas music, that's the song that people point to as like, fuck that song.
It's not that bad. It's better than some of the other stuff we're singing around Christmas. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. All
No
I
one
want
does
for
that.
Christmas is you. You know, I don't know. It's at least a little bit more catchy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but we're not 1,000, so it sounds good, right?
I guess.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what it means for you, but I know Christmas songs, people like to sing them. It expresses their joy. They like to celebrate. It's a tradition, gets you in the spirit of the season, depending on if you want to just have fun or you want your religious overtones or your folklores or, you know, I mean, as the landscape changes, so do these things. And I'm sure even like the tunes, I was even reading some where like some of these people were writing these songs thinking it was going to be sang in this tune. And then we're like, nah, 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 nah. We're gonna change it to this. Jingle Bells is a good example. I actually was reading about that and I didn't know this, but it was from an American songwriter out of 1857, and he wrote the song under the title "The One Horse Open Sleigh" in 1857, and they noted that the song became synonymous with Christmas, and its original composition was intended for Thanksgiving.
Interesting.
So we could have had two Thanksgiving songs
Yeah.
at this point in our lives. But yeah, it was supposed to be for a Thanksgiving celebration at the Simpson Tavern in Medford, Massachusetts. And then, you know, just a catchy melody that took on. And then we're like, well, you're constantly saying jingle bell, jingle, you know, jingle, jingle. So they're like, we all were like, no, it's Jingle Bells. So I guess we all just collectively decided as a whole that we were going to change the name and sing it around Christmas because snow and shit. I don't know. But yeah, it became really popular. And now we all know it, of course. It is a catchy tune. I mean, even if you don't care for Christmas music, when Jingle Bells come on, you got to tap, you know?
You can sing the alternate versions, like, you know, Jingle Bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Yeah. Yeah. When did we start all of that? That's what I should have looked up when all of us kids started bastardizing these songs for funsies, you know?
See, I feel like it was an 80s thing, but I also feel like I remember something somewhere where it was almost like it came somewhere else, and I can't pinpoint where I remember seeing it, but I feel like it was an 80s thing.
Could have been. Or we're just remembering it because that's when we were children and sang it. But who knows? Maybe it could have been the 70s too.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there was somewhere something I saw where that could have pointed it to the 70s, and I can't for the life of me remember. But maybe I'm misremembering. That's a possibility.
Let's see the secret true history of Jingle Bells Batman smells. Let's see if this one has anything in here. If you grew up anywhere near English-speaking world, that's kind of us. Yeah.
Sure.
You heard some version of this parody as a kid, but I've talked to people in their 40s and 50s that recall it. This was written in 2015. So,
okay. So, yeah 70s for sure.
And then this person says goes back to at least the 60s when they were researching it. So, yeah, interesting. Okay. It came across writer Bob Weir. He started down the same path way back in the back days of 2006. He started researching it here.
Okay, sure.
But it looks like there was never a solid conclusion made, but like 60s is the earliest, I guess, that they can get back to because of a Batman cartoon.
That's what I was going to say. So that's when the Adam West show was on. That was happening. So they would have done the animated stuff too when him and Burt Ward did the. So yeah, it's right. It's all about Camp Batman, Adam West.
There you go. There you go. Excellent. Well, I'm glad that was the origins then, and not just like us kids being, you know, stupid,
assholes.
You know, and then and then it became popular in the 80s because of Simpsons. There you go. So that's probably why we remember it from the 80s, because Bart.
Yeah, Bart was always
singing it. Yep. There you go.
And they're just like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, you know, well, that's the humor of kids and The Simpsons. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the ones that I feel like countlessly been remade, redone, different versions, you know. But yeah, I just found that interesting that its initial association for Jingle Bells was supposed to be Thanksgiving, but then got secured as a Christmas song, which, listening to the lyrics, that makes the most sense to me to assume it would have been Christmas, but I don't know what Thanksgiving was like in 1857 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it was an armpit of Christmas. I don't know. Like,
Well, it's like you said with the chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Who the fuck does that anymore?
that
is
I
such
do
an-
not know. If you do, let me know.
Oh, for sure. But
Please.
I don't know anybody who eats chestnuts, let alone roast them on an open fire.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and most like fireplaces and homes these days are fake anyway. So, yeah, because nobody wants to clean that shit. I don't blame you. You know.
For sure.
But yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, I just kind of wrote down a couple of things about like with Silent Night, which was one that I remember quite well. I mean, you know, all of you know, I grew up in an independent fundamental Baptist garbage stuff. So obviously sang this song a lot. But most of us already know it was created in Austria, 1818. Franz Xavier Gruber, which I loved. Hans Gruber. Anyway, but he was a school teacher, church organist. And they collaborated and got this song out there in the first performance on the Christmas Eve of 1818 at St. Nicholas Church in Obendorf. If I'm saying that right. So
Sounded good.
yeah. I don't know. And that one's another one that we know has become very popular. Come to find out, the Trapp family singers out of World War II, you know, they kind of, they came over here and started singing it and came over there. So it just like took off all across Europe and then came over here into the States. And it's just interesting to hear the etymology of where these things like floated and why it's a global thing. 'Cause, you know, they weren't sitting there thinking this is going to be some global phenomenon. Well, maybe some of them were, you know, narcissistic enough to know that like, I'm writing gold, you know. It is probably like, what's your competition like? I don't know. Because you didn't really have like global news. So are you like aware of some really amazing composer maybe in a completely different country unless some group comes over and starts singing it? Like, you know, I don't know how that worked. I don't know. Were you like, what's the little tap? Morse code?
Yeah.
We got a new song coming. I don't know. But, you know, of course, there is the popular song by British pop duo out of the 80s.
Oh, God.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
Oh, boy.
The very next day, you tore it apart. Or something like that. I don't know.
Something
But
like that.
Wham! In 84. And I mean, you still hear that today.
Not as much, though.
Not as
but
much.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go to the grocery store.
That's true.
They play a lot of 80s and 90s music at the grocery store. But yeah. And it was on their album Music's from Heaven, From the Edge of Heaven. Yeah. So we got to put in Wham. If we're going to give Mariah a nod, we've got to put in Wham for George Michael and, you know, making a new Christmas song over the last 30 years. Or maybe your first pop one. Maybe we've got to give the nod to Wham. And then Mariah just kind of was like 10 years later, you know what? I can do this better. Because it was exactly 10 years later. Because I want to say her song came out in 94.
Mm-hmm.
Here Comes Santa Claus. That's a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that all the time. 1947, not as old as I would have thought, but around the same time, because it was Gene Autry, which we were talking about, of course, before, singer, actor, cowboy entertainer. I loved that was in his bio, cowboy entertainer.
That's right.
But he had previously gained fame for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So he wrote all of our stuff, it's seeming like. Anyway.
Oh, he performed. So he would have performed that, yes.
Yes.
Or his version was the popular one?
That's what it's sounding like. Or no, from Here Comes Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Rudolph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he said that he had gained fame for his Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So along with Oakley Haldeman and Gene Autry. Anyway, they made it popular. We know it now around that same time. And then... yeah. I mean, we could talk about plenty of them, but those were just the ones that I had seen that I thought was kind of interesting because I also want to be like, when did we do carols? Because I don't even hear that anymore. And honestly, growing up, I don't know if I ever heard any people doing it around our street or anything. So if you grew up in a place where people caroled, I'd kind of love to hear about it. Was it a nuisance? Did you guys really enjoy just standing at your front door listening to people? Like, is it what I envision it from the movies? You know, like, is it how it happened? Because I've never seen a group of people dressed together holding candles, just singing Christmas carols. So lovely. You know, it may be the drunk guy coming home. I hear him singing something, but that's never usually that great. But
Yeah.
carols, it was a European thing. So maybe we wouldn't have heard it as much, but they were actually pre-Christian pagan songs sung at winter solstice, which, I mean, probably should be what we're celebrating anyway, right? So on the shortest day of the year, they would go out and, actually the word carol means a dance or a song of praise and joy. I don't remember seeing anybody dance in these movies. So now I want to know if like the Europeans did it better, where they're like song and dance outside your house, like it was a real entertaining thing. Woo woo,
Well, yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Instead of just standing there like some nice people singing and stuff, like, where do I look? How long am I supposed to stand here? This feels awkward, but if they're like dancing and stuff, I'd be like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. But come to find out, actually, carols used to be written and sung for all of the seasons. But Christmas was the only one where the tradition kind of stuck and stayed. Yeah,
it kind of makes sense. Like even to this day, I don't understand the purpose of caroling. Like, now, granted, I understand times are different, so perhaps it was a form of entertainment for people.
Sure.
To kind of lift their spirits or whatever. But to have that mindset to be like, you know what, we're going to go out to each and every house and just sing outside their house. Today, this would get you shot.
No doubt.
Like,
sadly,
get the fuck
you're
off
probably
my
right.
lawn.
Yeah. Stand my ground. It's like, we're just trying to spread God's love.
You're spreading nothing over here, missy.
Right? I mean, isn't it sad, though, that you might be joking, but you guys have seen the news lately.
Oh, yeah.
Don't knock on the wrong door, Jesus Christ,
Yeah. One person that's not white.
Right? Oh my gosh. Well, even the one in the car, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, like where she accidentally sat down in the wrong car.
Yeah.
And then they got out of theirs to follow them over to theirs. I was just like, y'all need to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we all need Prozac. Calm down. But yeah, I don't know. Were there any songs then you growing up that like you hear it now and it evokes some really great Christmas memory or?
Yeah, with Christmas music, I think one of the reasons I do enjoy listening to it is there are core moments. I can't say a memory. I was even thinking about this the other day, kind of thinking about this before we talked about it. And I remember moments, like fleeting moments of that time of year in my childhood. Nothing like a major moment that I can just pull out and it lasts for minutes. It's just like little snapshots that I can remember, and it brings a memory back, and it kind of gives me I don't know, there's an emotional response that feels kind of comforting because it's something I remember enjoying or being happy about. So these songs just trigger those. And the one, this might be a surprise to so many people, but this is a album that is pure to me and something I would at least like to listen to one time every year because it does invoke those memories. And that is the Carpenter's Christmas album.
Okay.
Listening to Karen Carpenter and her beautiful voice sing, and I know some of them are religious, and that's not my thing.
Whatever. They could still be a good song, whether you like.
That's where it crosses.
I also
the line
don't
for
think
me.
he was on a magic carpet.
No.
So like I can give some things.
But I mean that's where I can kind of cross those boundaries where it's just because I don't believe, it doesn't mean I can't enjoy what she's singing. And for me, my money, Karen Carpenter's got one of the loveliest voices that ever graced my ears. And so hearing that album, like I said, it takes me back to that time as a kid. Just little moments, whether it's just like going out and looking at Christmas lights with my parents or just sitting at home and just being cozied up somewhere, seeing the Christmas tree the night before, little things like that I have memories of, or just even snapshots. It brings it back. Yeah. And I think that's the same kind of what I was mentioning with Rudolph and stuff like that last week. Those shows, those specials have a significance in that same way. Okay. And so, yeah, I don't I have like a little playlist that I like to kind of listen to, but I won't do it like the entire month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, kind of what you said. When that week before, maybe the day before, a few days before, whatever, and then maybe on Christmas Day, like as everyone's opening presents, I might turn the playlist on, kind of keep it low, but it's kind of in the background.
Just something in
so
the
you can hear
background.
it.
Yeah. I feel like people always switched over to whatever channel it was that had the fireplace on TV and would always run Christmas music. That's what I seem to always remember people playing when I'd be at their house or something for Christmas. You know, it's like pretending like we have a fire. And just listening to Christmas songs. I think the reason why I didn't too much is it's pretty much the same song and just like 12 people wrote their own version. So eventually I get tired because like I've already heard the song a bunch. I know this is by so-and-so now and not so-and-so last time, but oh my God, I've already heard the song 3 times today.
Sure.
That's why I can't do it all month long. You know?
And that's understandable. Now, another thing that I've been trying to do, because if you go to something like the Carpenters' Christmas album, it's structured. You've got all the classics. You know, any song you can think of that's a Christmas song that everybody knows, I guarantee it's on there, unless it's something more modern. Another album that I've kind of added to that playlist that is more modern in that regard, but has some of those classic songs and a few others that I don't normally find anywhere, is Seth MacFarlane also did a Christmas album. And since he sings in that, you know,
he's got
Bing
the
Crosby,
crooner. You know, first time I heard him legit sing, I was like, God damn, is there anything you can't do?
Yeah.
Like,
And-
Jesus Christ, dude. Like, what one talented individual. He must be hard to get along with, though. He's that talented and that good looking and single.
I don't know.
It's got to be difficult to get along with. Maybe he's just too much of a creative and you can't live with someone like that, you know? Like, I don't know. Or it's a choice. I could be just being mean. It could just be a choice. You know?
I mean,
you're
I've
allowed
heard
to
he's-
do whatever you want.
He's dated a few interesting short.
Short-lived.
Yeah.
Like, I've never hear about it.
The most famous one that I'm aware of is he dated what's her name? She was the Dragon Queen on House of Game of Thrones. The Khaleesi, the Daenerys,
Really?
Yeah, whatever her name is, I can't. I see her face clear as day, and I can't think of her name.
I can too, but you know me.
Amelia Clark.
I'm not
That's
good for
it.
people's names ever in my life.
Amelia Clark. That's her name.
Yes. In 2012, 2013. Oh.
So
I don't
you
know. Oh, Elijah Dushku? Really? For
yeah,
like a year?
maybe.
I think that's the only other name I really recognize on here. Nicole Sullivan, Jessica Barth, Krista Campbell, Camille Guadi, Amanda Bynes? Amanda Bynes!
What?
Really? Hold on. Sorry, I'm in a different rabbit hole now. Oh my God, it is the Amanda Bynes. I was like, it's got to be a different one. Really?
I mean, you
In
think
2008, dated Amanda Bynes. So I guess right before she unfortunately took the turn there, because I know she had a lot of mental issues that I think she's gotten herself back on track, but I haven't paid attention to her in a while. But wow, I don't know why that shocks me. I don't see like Amanda Bynes and Seth MacFarlane just don't go together in my head. Maybe I think there's too much of an age gap, but I bet you there's not.
probably isn't.
Because she's like our age, I think, Amanda Bynes, because she was popular in early 2000s, mid 2000s. All right, yeah. I guess I'm always just going to see her as the kid, because that was when she was still popular. It was like in her late to early 20s when she was making, like, She's All... No, she wasn't in that. Anyway, whatever. Her movie was before it all... Anyway, there you go. Seth MacFarlane's dating history.
But anyway, yeah. But I mean, he's got a lot of interesting takes on some of the songs. I mean, it kind of, like you said, goes back to that old crooner sound. Mm-hmm. And then he has, typically with a lot of his albums, he'll have someone like Norah Jones doing
she's got
duets
a nice
with him.
voice too. Yeah.
That's somebody, I'm surprised that's not part of his dating history, because I see them doing songs together all the time. I'm like, you two are
Is she
like
married,
making
maybe?
music. She might be. But yeah, the two of them, I know that they've worked together quite a bit, and she's done duets with him. One, I think they actually did a duet. Was it her? It might have been somebody else. Hang on. I don't want to speak out of turn.
Right.
No, it was Sarah Bareilles. I think that's the other one. I think that's her name. But she's also kind of in that same Nora Jones.
Yeah.
But they did a cover of Baby It's Cold Outside. And they used the original lyrics, so if you're offended.
I do remember that for a minute, that all of a sudden we were,
Again, I don't think that was the intention, but what do I know? The Gen Zers are going to tell me I'm wrong and shame me
to a
for
point,
it.
though, I almost be like, well, there might be some. I mean, the day and age that it was written in, there might be some truth to it.
Might be, yeah.
We still weren't people. Still
But-
not in some people's eyes.
I know. But
I don't know. I've never done a deep dive, really, so I don't know. We could just be inferring a lot, too.
But there are a handful of other songs more, I guess, when I say modern, they're modern to me in the sense that maybe you don't think of them as the typical Christmas songs.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that he had on the album, which I love this song, and it's such a non-Christmas song, but I think it's fitting, just kind of break up the monotony. And that's, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Malakaliki, the Hawaiian song.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Kaliki Maka. Yeah, Melakaliki
the tune's
Maka
not in my
is the
head, but
sound
yeah.
to say how they say it in
Yeah.
Hawaii on Christmas Day. I'm not going to sing it.
I
because
think
I
I
can't
know what
say
you're
the
talking
word.
about, but for some reason the tune, like, I'll get some of it and then I'm
Dun,
off on
dun,
like
dun,
Skinnamarink-y
dun,
dinky
dun,
dink, and
dun,
I'm like, that's
dun,
not the
dun,
right tune.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know.
Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun,
There it
dun,
is.
dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I'm gonna do.
Thank you. But no, I don't know why my brain was putting the Skinnamarink-y dinky.
But yeah,
do it, I'm
if
like,
you don't
that's
know the
not-
words, you're
Yeah.
gonna say that's what you're gonna say. But like, that's what they say.
But no, I know which song you're talking about. Yeah.
So there's that one. This one might be not controversial, just an odd choice that no one's going to think about. But, Run DMC did Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens.
I
Christmas
might have
Time
to.
in Hollis, Queens.
Oh no, I don't know that I know this one, or I'd have to look it up and then hear it and go, oh, okay, yeah.
It's got a pretty interesting jam. It starts off. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
That
That does sound very Run DMC.
Yeah. So very. I hope everyone's loving this.
Like, what are they doing right now? They've turned us down a little bit.
But there was that. Here recently, I think it was last year when they did the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, there was a band called the Old 97s, which I know
Yes.
that what's his name? James Gunn. Jesus Christ. I don't know if he's part of the band or he's just good friends with them, because I've seen him kind of use their music quite a bit. But they had a very, like, that song that they wrote for the opening of that was a great song, and it got stuck in my head. So that's kind of added to my playlist because I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good song. And I think even the other one that Kevin Bacon sang at the end was also a nice
Oh yeah, maybe.
addition.
Mhm.
Here it
That
is,
was fun.
Christmas time or something like that.
I'd have to go back and see it again. I watched it once last year
Yeah.
or the year before. I don't know when it came out.
I think it might have been last year.
Yeah, I feel like it's
time.
But the last couple years, time has
Yeah.
no meaning anymore. I know. It's just
I feel like last year, but I could be wrong. But no, I like to scatter in some different things, because I think it just makes it fun. You got
sure.
It's a silly song, and I don't even remember where. I'm almost positive Katrina kind of pointed it out, but it's It's this old, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah.
What will only do? Yeah. But wasn't that from like Alvin and the Chipmunks? Or at least that's the version I'm hearing in my head as I want a hippopotamus. I know that's not who wrote it, but I feel like that's the version I'm hearing myself. Okay.
But yeah, they may have done that. They may have done a cover of it. I think it was, I can't.
Gayla Peavy.
There you go.
Is what it says here in 53. Yeah. All right.
And see, the Alvin and the Chipmunks, isn't that their song? Was it, what's the name of the song?
Oh, I should.
Is it just Christmas time? Christmas time is here. Time for joy and time for cheer.
Hippo song? I don't know.
Is that
they
how
did
that
sing
goes?
"And I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas," so there is an Alvin and the Chipmunks version.
I'm gonna have to look that up because that's not part of my playlist, I don't think. And I feel like that's kind of
theirs is the 2 front teeth. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth.
2 front teeth, 2 front teeth. And it makes sense because they're chipmunks. Why didn't I think of that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's, now in our old age.
I get it now. Why didn't I think of that?
Because I was 10. No, I don't know.
And what about, this is one that gets off forgot, but the Smashing Pumpkins did a Christmas song or a cover of one, Christmas Time. I don't know if you remember that one.
I probably have to go back and listen, but I mean, I can hear Billy Corgan right now. So I'm like, Christmas
time is
here. There you go. It's like I can't do it. That's
I want you down. You coming to the tree, and I'm
and then really loud music, so you can't really hear what's being said anyway, because the guitar is louder than his voice. Yeah, I make fun of you, Billy, but I listened to you. I owned your albums in the 90s.
I love your music.
Do you know side note, I don't know how long it's been now that he owns a wrestling federation.
No, I did not.
Yeah, it was a local thing. So one of my husband's best friends was Matt Cross. He used to go by MDog20. Anyway, he's a wrestler. But we went to go see him downtown Chicago one time when he was wrestling. And I look up in the balcony and there sits Billy Corgan. And I'm like, what the crap? Come to find out it was his Fed. And I was like, really? Huh. When did he do that? So at least 10, 15 years now, at least. Might have been longer. But yeah, I was just like, I'm at a wrestling thing, like very low key, and just look up and see Billy Corgan. You're like, what? I was so confused. I was like, is he really a like underground wrestling fan? Because like of all the places to see a famous person with like underground wrestling, they weren't like mainstream. Anywho.
Yeah.
Billy Corgan history for you. And probably a lot of people were like, we've got an audience that watches wrestling. So I'm sure they're like, yeah, Lace. We've followed it forever. But anyway, it was news to me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But I'm trying to think of any other songs that really click. I mean, there's some of the more modern, because even as we talk about them, like Rudolph, okay? Like we know that's, I guess that would be considered modern by comparison.
Yeah, I mean, in the last 60 years-ish or so, yeah. 70.
But then you have someone like Chuck Berry come around and do Run, Run, Rudolph. And
I almost forgot. Run, Run, Rudolph.
Yeah. And you kind of do that hip version, and it's not that far removed. So it was just like, well, what if we just take that, but when we put like a real rock and roll spin on Run, Run, Rudolph, Santa Claus is coming to town. And it's banging.
It's fun. Yeah, it is fun.
So even just little ones like that, I think those are the ones that kind of stand out for me because it's almost like they break up the monotony.
Sure.
Because you want to hear the classics, but then you like to slide in a fun one somewhere,
Yeah. Something
Santa Baby
spice.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, Santa Baby is actually one of my favorite ones.
Now, who do you want to sing it?
Well, I want to say it's the original, but I'd have to like look it up and see who it was because I know there's been a lot of newer ones, but
yeah,
I like the traditional sound for Santa Baby is to put a table under the tree for me.
If I'm not mistaken, unless I don't know I'm almost positive it's Eartha Kitt.
I think you're right.
The original, and she just sensual, you know.
Oh yeah.
Santa baby.
Oh, well, I mean, if you listen to the whole lyrics, like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, that is one of my favorite ones. And I just something about the tune, probably the way she sings it too, the nice little vibrato that they get on the certain ones there. It's just I love it. I do love it. That's one of my favorite ones. If I hear that one, I will stop and let it finish.
Yeah.
And I was looking it up here. I didn't know Gwen Stefani did a version, so I might have to check that one out. Because if it's like a ska version of Santa Baby, that could be fun.
Could be, yeah.
Or at least that's what she used to be back in the day. I don't know if she's like, yeah, that's what they were.
Yeah.
The band. I know she's solo or whatever. It hasn't been with the band in a long time. But and then Michael Bublé.
See, now he's one of those. Depending on what song, I think he might have one in my list here.
To me, he's indistinguishable from some of the crooners from back in the day. It's pretty amazing to me, just like how dead on he is. So I like some Bublé. Mom listened the crap out of Bublé. Just he had that voice she loved from her childhood, you know. And so he did it right. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones, Santa Baby, of all the Christmas songs. And for some reason, I really like the Little Drummer Boy. I think it was just because of pum
and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
I liked that one.
Now I will say, and I know it probably doesn't make any sense because it's kind of their music, but also kind of mixed in. But I also like listening to the Charlie Brown Christmas music. You know, the Vince Guaraldi. Did I say that right?
I think
the
so.
Vince Guaraldi trio. Their little piano mixes. But then they do their own little Christmas bits and whatnot. And I don't know. I enjoy it.
Sure. Yeah, and the other one that used to come around all the time, and maybe people have been, because I know that they travel all the time. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, of course, is one that you always hear. Now, I know they do a lot of stuff, but nobody gives a crap about them until it's Christmas time, because if they're because that's like the only song anyone knows, which I find it hilarious. When I used to serve tables near a place that used to generate a lot of concerts and stuff like that, so we would always get like 2 rushes, because before the first show and before the second show, you know. And I feel like everyone wanted to leave like after that song came on. I was like, yeah, that was the only one you knew, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like going to a Gaudier concert and leaving after somebody that I used to know.
Now that's the Carol of the Bells, right?
Yes.
Now that's one that I find, it's so simplistic, but it's very beautiful. Just the way it's done, and depending on who does it, it has its own unique charm. I think I've got a version of that in my playlist that I listen to. Yeah,
no, it's a fun song, and I admit that's probably the only song I really know from them as well. It's the only time I hear it or anything, but I don't like put them on my playlist, and I'm not spending hundreds of dollars to go to a concert for one song. But
sure,
you know, I don't have the FU money like some of the people did that came into where I worked. You know, if you're willing to spend $50 on just a steak with nothing else, you probably have money.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you buy some Opus One for just yourself. That's a $400 bottle of wine. Like, okay, you know. But yes. I was going to say that one came around, and I feel like that you only hear about them around Christmas. I could be wrong. I don't follow in their circles. I don't know if they have like a fan group or anything like that, you know, but
you never know.
You never know. There probably is for everything, you know. But yeah. And I think most of them that stick in my head, though, are like the older crooner ones, because I'm like, Let It Snow with Dean Martin, you know, that one I remember hearing all the time, or Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Although I think Judy Garland actually sang that first, right? But we only remember the dude's version.
Yeah, because that's the only version that I'm more familiar with is like,
the guy.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Yeah.
And they use it in everything.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only so many, I guess.
Yeah,
People
true.
are going to play. I don't know. And then, Oh, Holy Night. I feel like I liked that one a lot, too. There's something about the tune. And if there was like a good singer singing that I really enjoyed that one as well. But mine's more like you. Like, I have like moments of time where I remember Christmas music being played and I remember those things. But I don't know if I have a specific, like, this song means this to me around Christmas because.
Right.
And that could be quite common. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of nostalgia and stuff is just like, you know, I remembered that when I was a kid.
I can't even remember what specifically those things are. And I feel like I wish I could drag those memories back. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Because there are fragments in my memories of Christmases over time, just snippets here and there. But there's only one Christmas from my childhood that I can genuinely 100% wholeheartedly remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was because the entire mood, whatever it was, I don't know what specifically was happening that day, but everyone was just in a great fucking mood that Christmas day.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
you can even see it in the pictures that we took. It's like we were all making goofy faces at the gifts we got and going like, hey, you know, showing everybody. And never once did I see that kind of enthusiasm on Another Christmas. Not to say that we were miserable or anything like that, but there was just something about that day. I don't know. Everybody, mom, dad, brother, everybody was just in a great mood.
Nice. Yeah. That's what you
So-
always hope for holidays, right? Is that
yeah.
everyone's going to be in a good mood at least once a year, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, I don't wake up Christmas morning just wanting to be miserable. I want to be happy. I want to be in the moment, but there's just something about, I guess for me personally, once it's done, it's done. You know, like once you get to that day, all that anticipation is just like you just feel the steam being let out all day. And then once you're at the end of it, it's like, well, I guess that's over and you're done.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stress that leads up to it too, especially as a parent or an adult. You're buying all of these things. You're probably the one doing all the decorating. You know, maybe you're hosting dinner or Christmas Eve or, you know, so yeah, like as an adult, it's like, oh, thank God, you know, but I remember as a kid, you're like, I want it to go forever, presents every day. You know, you got up at like 6 a.m. because you just couldn't wait. Like I do kind of miss that feeling. Like waking up as a child on Christmas, which you take for granted in the moment, you know, but just there's something about being that excited about the unknown of that you are getting that I do miss having that feeling, you know, because now it's just another day for me. I get up. I mean, things are prettier, right? Because we decorated and all this kind of stuff. But like all in all, it's another day. I can get up whenever I'm not in a rush for anything. Hell, you know, unless kids are around, we might be opening gifts around noon, wine. Like, we don't care. We want to eat breakfast. We want to drink coffee. We want to go our separate ways for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, got to get ourselves together. But I do miss that feeling very much.
I can agree with that. There are times I've thought back on it, just remembering getting up very early, tired as hell because I couldn't fall asleep.
Santa was coming, damn it.
Yeah. So you were already anxious. And then when you finally did get to sleep, you still wake up the next morning excited.
Running down the stairs for me. Anyway, I was upstairs. I ran.
But that's where your energy comes from, because the excitement is like, I'm tired, but presents. And then you get it in there and you seem like, oh my God, there's presents.
Yeah.
But at 6 o'clock, they're still asleep. Should I open them? Maybe. I don't know. And then you just kind of caught, because you don't want to disturb your parents. But you kind of do. You're just like,
I don't know. I think I just woke her up. I was like, dude, it's Christmas. Get up. It's time. Let's do it. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I had to kind of cross through their room to get downstairs it's like, these days, I don't even think it's legal. Like, you have to pass through a bedroom to get out of your bedroom. Like, I think most state laws now, like, you have to have it separated off or whatever. But anyway, so it was kind of like I had to wake her up on my way through. It's like, that's where you sleep. Sorry. And I'm running through. But yeah, I do miss that. I do very much so. That excitement. And then, you know, actually being fooled by Santa or anything. Like, I know some parents like don't want to lie to your kid, and that's fair actually to set them up that way, you know. I think it's more for the parents, honestly, with the whole Santa thing. It's just more fun to watch like your child be enamored with this mystical thing, you know, that somehow gives all of us presents if we were good in one evening around the world, you know, time zones, whatever you want to call it. And he's like, oh my God, where'd the cookies go? Did your news stations ever do like the Santa watch?
I feel like I remember that vaguely, but yeah.
I remember we used to watch those too, because like when he would start to get towards the States, and mom would be like, you better go to bed. He's going to skip this house, you know, and I believe, you know, I'm like, all right, I better get up there and go to sleep, you know, because like he's getting close to the States. I better, you know, he's in France right now and he's coming this way, you know.
They're all in the lie.
Right. I know. It's like when you do find out it's a lie, you're like, what? You know.
But, you know, I mean, all right, so let me kind of be advocate here, or devil's advocate for all that, because as a parent who's done both, I have told my kids that there was a Santa, and then I've also told my child from, you know, minute one, there is no Santa. Don't kid yourself. And I didn't try to, like, I understand as we experience that excitement, that mysticism of it all, and it's just like, oh, you know, am I taking that away from her? But I also thought of it from a different perspective, and I'm not saying that this made me think, well, my parents just lied to me all my life. Nothing like that. But at the same time, there was a process in my head. I was like, well, I don't want to lie to her. And I understand this is kind of a game, but if I lie to her for so long, how long does the lie continue until you have to break it? And then...
Oh, it's usually a friend that destroys that for you. Like, your kid's probably the one destroying it for other kids.
Well, we've even told her that, because she did have some friends that would be like, you know, Santa's real. And she's like, no, it's not.
Yeah. That's how I learned. My friends, yeah.
We pretty much told her point blank. It's like, hey, if other people believe in it, you know, you let them believe whatever they want to believe. I said, we're just letting you in on it. Yeah. You know, but don't destroy someone else's
right. Christmas. Yeah.
But the thing is I've seen certain kids who are getting into their teens and they're still believing in Santa, and you're just like,
in this day and age?
Seriously, I'm not even joking.
How do you not? Okay. I'm just curious with all of the electronics and the internet and all of this stuff, like how you could entertain something like that for so long.
I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Like, when I heard someone told me that, I think it was my wife told me that, and I was just like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
I feel like you need to pop that balloon.
But yeah, know? As they're going into their teens, at least, yeah. I feel like I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I feel like I was still young, but like old enough to be a little disappointed, but you know, I still wanted presents, so it was fine. I was like, oh, I'm still getting presents. Because why were we never confused why some of the presents were from Santa and some were for mom? Some were for, you know, like, we weren't suspicious of that. Like, why? Okay, fine. So I guess mom helped Santa. I don't know.
Sure.
I guess that was always the lie, right? We were recruited to help every year and pick them out. And that's why you tell us what you want. We've got the line to Santa.
Hopefully people understand. I'm not shaming anybody who tells their kid about Santa. Yeah. You do whatever you want to do.
I mean, if your kid's 25, though, maybe it's time to break the news.
Might be time.
Maybe, you know.
I just thought, I kind of wanted to see from a certain perspective.
Yeah, you had your own case group.
Yeah, because I wanted to see, is like, would it make a difference if I have been honest with her, you know, up front about everything from day one? You know, never told my kid a lie. Does that shape who she will become? Will she be more honest? She has lied.
Sure.
But
that's a natural reaction, I think, when you're getting caught and you're like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble, because you're in survival mode.
But I feel like even in her lies now, like, I think she thinks it through. Because, like, I asked her the other day about something. I was like, did you do this? And she knows she did wrong. And you can see the wheels turning, like she wants to say a lie. But it's like she's sorting it through her head. And then she'll just kind of look at me. And I'm like, go ahead and say yes, because I know what that means. And she's like, and she'll nod. And I'm like, okay, I just wanted to know. So I could
do whatever I needed to do after. Right. Yeah.
But just needed to know.
I'm sure it's that panic first nervous of getting caught at doing something you weren't supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
But at least there's that. She'll be like, come out with it instead of like trying to pile lie on lie on lie on lie on lie as like children do, because we think we're so much smarter. Like our parents are never going to figure this out, you know?
And I think that's what it all kind of boiled down to for me when it came to this. I wasn't trying to take anything from her. I wanted to see if it made a difference, you know? I wanted to see if she would be more honest and forthright with me and other people who are with her. Because if she can trust us, then that's what I want.
Yeah.
You know, come to us with any problem you may have. You can tell us. We're not going to bullshit you. We're not going to lie to you. So we're being upfront and honest with you about all these fictional characters that bring you presents and Easter eggs and whatever the fuck else.
Yep. There's no bunny either. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. It just... You do whatever you want to do. It was an opportunity to see how things would work, and I don't know if it has made a difference. But like I said, she's been a lot more. Not saying she's perfect when it comes to honesty, but she's been a lot more honest and open about things than most of my kids have.
There you go.
Well,
you know, you had your own case group, so there you go. How many people get those opportunities to? I'm going to do this for you and this for you. And see who gets screwed up first. Yay. You know?
Woo!
And then you'll know, even though it's too late for one of them. This time of year probably would breed a little bit more dishonest kids, right? Because you want to be perceived as good so you can get all the presents. You know what, Cole?
Yeah, but Santa knows when you're good and when you're bad, or what is that's not.
He
how it
knows
goes.
when he sounds like a stalker.
Yeah,
he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You know,
staring
it's like,
out your window.
Like we would arrest people doing that. No, you know.
Yeah, you think?
I feel like that would scare you about Santa. Like he sees me all the time, or like. Is this overtones for God? You know, like always knows what you're doing. You know, which I guess is kind of most of our stuff, right? Like we gotta throw that in there somehow, or while we're hiding it from you. But yeah, I feel like we should have all been terrified of Santa. He can just break into our home, knows everything about us. Come on, guys.
I just have this, see, it's happening again. I have this clip in my head where some kid is doing something they shouldn't be doing. I'm thinking of something a little bit more adult in this regard. So just follow me with it.
Follow you.
Some boy is doing something.
He's having maybe a good time by himself.
Yeah. Found ways to turn his body into a jungle gym. Anyway, you just see Santa outside the window, tapping on the window. Hey, stop that! Stop! You're on the naughty list. Stop it!
Right. Like, why is this naughty? Because it's so good, Santa. No.
It's like, I can't stop, Santa, stop. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know
I'll probably go to hell, but I can't stop.
I know what they told me.
I know. It actually, you know, a lot of religion wants you to believe that like that's like bad. I'm like, really? Well, guess what? It's gonna happen.
I found a hair on my palm.
It's so bad. You know. Oh boy.
All right, we've gone off the rails. I'm sorry.
Really have, as we do.
Anything else on Christmas music?
I don't really think so. No, I mean, I wrote like such a little, which I've already kind of, told you all about the little history of some of the songs. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of go a little bit over Christmas music, see if either you or, I had any, any sentimental value placed on any of these songs that maybe could bring us back. And yeah, I don't know. Siblings, what's your favorite? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Mm-hmm. I could understand if you don't like Christmas music. It can only take you so far.
I would love to hear from our siblings, especially the ones in Discord, who, like, if you have any Christmas songs that are like, you don't have to like it all, but if there's one that you do truly enjoy, it's like, now that one I would love to hear every year. So if I at least get to hear it once, I'm good.
Right.
I feel like we all have that one thing, and sure, you can hate all Christmas music, but I'm hopeful that our siblings out there at least have a little.
Yeah.
a little in their
couple of 'em.
bones somewhere.
Or maybe a holiday song from whatever traditions you celebrate. Maybe
Sure.
I'm sure there's plenty of those that I've never heard of. Teach me some new stuff here. I'd love to hear something new. Maybe you'll go on my list because I don't really have any loyalties to any of them.
I mean, I remember the Hanukkah song "Dreidel, Dreidel, Dreidel."
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the
I
only
remember-
one. Though. There's got to be more.
I'm sure there is,
There's
but
gotta be.
the only reason I know that one is I think it was Carol Channing singing it in some Christmas
God.
special. Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel,
Oh,
I
God.
made you out of clay.
Yeah, that would be what would stick in your head for sure.
Yeah.
That woman, I tell you.
You don't
what.
forget
You
Carol
don't.
Channing.
You do not.
Come here, young man. Yeah, sorry. So, siblings, Christmas music, yay, nay. What's your favorite? What do you just hate about? I don't want to hear hate. Let's be positive.
Yeah, like I.
If
could
you
do
don't
that
like
enough.
if you don't like it, just be like,
Yeah.
and then be done with it.
Yeah.
But if you have one that we didn't mention that you really love to hear it, or your favorite Christmas album, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are someone who does not celebrate Christmas and you have some holiday songs like
Mm-hmm.
Dreidel Dreidel, I'm sure it's called the Dreidel song or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I'm going to find that clip and I'm going to insert
I
it.
know. I was gonna say. I'm gonna have to go
I've gotta
listen to it
find it.
now, or else I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have your version of it in my head all day.
I
Dreidel,
just-
dreidel, dreidel.
Dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. Tell us what your favorite holiday songs are.
There you go. Holiday songs.
On whatever social media platform that you are using currently, because it looks like the one most popular is going to implode any day now.
I mean, it's the advertiser's fault, though. Really,
oh, yes. How
we're
dare they?
all going to look at them and curse when it goes under because it is only their fault. And I don't know who you think you're fooling.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It really is. It's just
Asshole.
can't believe they all want to see it tank so hard. Yep.
Sure. So, whatever social media platform, Super Mega Crash, that's where we are everywhere. If we're not on one that you enjoy, let us know so we can get on there. I don't know what
Maybe.
one we're not on.
But just don't ask me to learn Mastodon.
Yeah, we're not doing
That's
that.
a little, I'm sure it might be easier than I'm letting on, but it's like, you gotta find a group and make an interest or something. I don't know. Guys, it was harder than me hitting a button and sending it.
Yeah, just
That's
allow
all
me
I
to
knew.
allow me to put in an email address and a password and be like,
And be done.
Now I've got my page. Yeah, I know that there's one. I don't remember which one it is that you can add music. They're trying to be MySpace.
Oh, I was just going to say MySpace. That was the one that used to be able to decorate your page. If you knew how to write HTML, you could
Oh,
make
yeah.
your own backdrop, colors. I had a friend who was actually really good at I didn't know any of that shit. And she would tell me like what numbers for the color that I wanted or something and where I'd insert it. And yeah, I thought I was all sorts of fancy with my like moving background. And yeah, I wonder
Yeah, I
if that
did
page is
learn.
even still there.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I
Yeah.
should go check one day just to see if it's still hanging out somewhere. I would have no idea how to get back into it because I think the email I signed up with has been a dead soldier for a long time. But anywho, off the beaten track again, as we do. You're trying to wrap
As
it
we
up.
do. But hey, send us an email at Super Mega Crash. Support the show over on patreon.com/pencilpaperproductions. Leave a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. And you can keep up with any and all things pencilpaperproductions.com/Super Mega Crash. Links are down below. Join us again next week, siblings, for our final episode this year. But until then, go, go, go beyond your limits.
I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play.
Oh, dreidel, 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 it loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel. Come play now, let's begin. Dreidel.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.